Hello lovies, welcome back to another video, another little photo booth diaries. I thought today's video, building off of my last two, unblocking my throat chakra and friendship breakups, I would talk about 4 things I'm gatekeeping from now on. And arguably, the universe has been slowly, rapidly teaching me these lessons. I just have taken a minute to learn them. So let's delve into the 4 things I'm gatekeeping. First thing I'm gatekeeping from now on is my trauma or drama, whatever chaos is going on in my life. 1, no one's business. 2, been burnt too many times by people who either get off on my drama, they find it entertaining, or they go and tell other people to gain more social favor and sound more interesting, or to just downright belittle me and make me sound like a poor little thing that needs help and empathy. Give me a break. But I'm done sharing my drama and trauma. Don't matter who you really are in my life. I don't care if you think there's a hierarchy into getting it. There's not. The only people I will tell my trauma or drama to are my psychiatrist and my therapist. I wanted to say psychotherapist, but those 2 individuals, my Reiki healer, my partner, and my mother. And maybe my aunties, but I have boundaries with what all I share, because people just love to project their situations and their opinions on to others. And so I'm careful. I'm very guarded about my chaos. I'm only meant to profitize off of it in due course when I feel as so. So whenever I'm releasing that book or that TV series, I'll let you know. Otherwise, gate kept. Lips locked, key thrown away. Second thing I'm gatekeeping from now on is how situations or friendships ended, which builds off of my drama and trauma. But if I'm ever asked, what's the update on you and so, or weren't you friends with so-and-so at one point? Lips locked and sealed, I'm not delving into that. I will say no comment. I kindly don't want to talk about that person. Respectfully, let's not discourse this person. Or if I'm in a work setting, I'll be civil and I'll just speak to their good qualities and my good experiences with them. Otherwise, I'm keeping everything to myself. I'm even really careful online about sharing experiences, because in no way do I like putting people on blast. There's no point. All it does when you put someone on blast or you explain a situation between you and another individual is show others how you will speak of them when your paths no longer are in alignment, when they part ways. And I personally don't want people to know what it sounds like for me to flip, for me to speak negatively. And there's no point. There's no way you'll persuade someone from not being friends with an individual just based on your experiences with them. And it kind of gives that individual the lesser hand in getting to know them, because who knows, maybe I had such not the greatest experience with one individual, but the individual asking me might have a way better experience. That's not for me to decide and or comment on. So I'm keeping my past relationships locked and sealed, and I know I've made videos such as They're Not Your Friends, in which I broke down in so many ways I was taken advantage of by individuals, but there's no face or a name to those I spoke about. And if there's a face and a name and a mutual understanding or acknowledgement, lips locked and sealed. And that video is arguably as far as I'll go into deeply sharing journeys with others that I've experienced. So, third thing I'm gatekeeping is my romantic relationships. There's too many miserable, angry people in this world just want to try and bring you down to their misery. And the one thing everybody wants is to be loved. And everyone has such a different idea of what love should look like, what their standards are. So I'm keeping my romantic relationship to myself. I'm not sharing the highlights, I'm not sharing the lowlights with anybody but my therapist. And unless I really need advice or I just really want to share something about it, I'll share it with my mother. Otherwise, once you tell people a hardship you're facing in a romantic relationship, it's hard for the individual you're confiding in not to have a tainted perspective of your now partner. And from that point on, they're going to have that negative outlook on them. Or they're going to continually project their standards onto you. And if you're a confident and comfortable person, or you're confident and comfortable in your situation, and that's not a situation they would be confident or comfortable in, they're going to do everything to place doubt and fear in your mind and tell you why that person's not meant for you. I've had way too many friends try and sabotage my happiness just because I was confident and comfortable in a situation they themselves would not be, because they were insecure and they needed constant affirmations. And I'm not someone that needs constant affirmations or is particularly insecure by nature. Very optimistic, very confident, and I just have a knowing. And once I have that knowing, I stick to it. So, to quote Don Miguel Ruiz, don't listen to other people's assumptions, good or bad, and don't take anything personally. Take all advice like ibuprofen, like a grain of salt. And if it feels like, oh, I needed to hear that, that's just a truth in your soul awakening. But if it feels mismatched, misaligned, release it, not yours to take. So I'm gatekeeping my relationship with my partner. That's for just him and I to know and build off of. And I'm not saying I'll never post him or talk about who he is, what he does to others, but I'm not delving into any more than what I've shared, which is just the facts of who he is as an individual. Otherwise, lips locked, key thrown away, not getting into our relationship or anything about my intimate and private life. And the fourth thing I'm gatekeeping from now on is game plans. Game plans with partners, game plans in business, game plans with my passions or hobbies, just game plans in general. Because that's for me to know, and I really, really, really believe in evil eye. And evil eye has been scientifically proven. Our nervous systems adapt and communicate with those whom we surround ourselves with. So if I'm a naturally calm individual and there's a naturally hyper anxious individual in the room with me, my immune system or nervous system is going to be trying to calm theirs while theirs is trying to ample up mine. And it's a tug of war game of energy. And it's a tug of war game I probably won't win if they're really riled up. They're just going to make me feel drained and anxious and tired. So evil eye is real. Do I think people have the full control to halt and crush an opportunity from happening? No. But I do think they can send a little negativity your way and it be a little speed bump. Not a full-blown halt, this is no longer going on. That's what I mean by halt. So I strongly believe in evil eye, and I strongly believe that's why it's important you surround yourself with like-minded individuals who only talk about health, wellness, whether it be mind, body, soul. They talk about business, but we don't discuss money. I guess that's a fifth thing I would gatekeep, but I'm not going to delve into that because I'm always interested in hearing people's business advice and just people talk about it in general. And or they just want to better themselves in the world. So they have a game plan in doing that, and they want to see if you'll join in on that game plan. And as we mutually bettering one another, walk the plank. So, not sharing game plans. I'm not sharing what I'm up to, what projects I'm working on until it is time for said projects or campaigns to be released into the world, to be enjoyed and indulged in. I hope I use that word right. So, those are the 4 things I'm gatekeeping from now on. And arguably all of 2025 was me learning the lesson with those 4 things. And now 2026 is me solidifying that. Full circle, we've learned it. From now on, I'm not sharing. And if you're in a position right now where you're thinking, oh, I have overshared with an individual, something I wish I didn't, I have been there. And it's okay. Give yourself immense grace, and just how to correct it is start building distance. Quit sharing on that situation. If they ask you about it, say respectfully, I don't want to talk about that. I don't want to talk about that individual, that situation. Let's change the subject to something else. And just start keeping that more private. It's okay to share and then go back on who you confided in. I've had many points in my life where I've confided in people and then gone in my car and been like, why did I do that? Ah! And it's just because at the end of the day, you want to build some connection, but no relationship built off of trauma is successful, because one individual will begin healing and that's going to pull you away, nor is it a strong foundation to build off of, and vice versa. Your business is your business with your friendships, past friendships, relationships, and so forth. They're not really meant to be open for a discourse to anyone and everybody. In a world where people love to trauma dump for a check or to gain empathy and more confidence in themselves, I will be choosing to remain silent and protecting my peace. I don't think in gatekeeping these 4 things, I'm hindering my throat chakra. Quite the opposite. I'm protecting it. I'm protecting whom I love, what brings me joy and happiness and peace. And that's what matters at the end of the day, is I protect the things that I love and that give me the most life. And I don't think they should be up for public debate or discourse, because energy is so precious. So if I can keep negativity away from them or it, I will. I will, by just sitting in silence. And that right now I'm just being called to talk on the present, to focus on the present, whether that be my interests, what I'm reading, politics, medicine, health, wellness, whatever, the arts, entertainment. Just focus on the present and building connection and seeing who's really aligned with me, because I just feel there's very few things you should share with your best friends or anyone that you don't consider family. I really do. And maybe it's because I've been burnt so hard in the past, but I think living a private life is much better than living a public where you just share everything about you, because then it's really hard to detach from people's opinions, versus if you never heard them, it's a lot easier to be happy. So I love you guys. That's all I have to share in today's video about the 4 things I'm gatekeeping. Hope I inspired someone out there, or I awoken something within you, planted a seed. And I look forward to my next video and talking to you guys again. As always, je t'aime, bisous bisous, au revoir, and abonne-toi. Bye.